All right, movie Howl peoples, Howligans, as you might be known.
As you might be.
All right, welcome back. This time we are talking about Dune, part 1 and 2. It's Joe's been obsessed. We actually tried to record this before from our secret, undisclosed safe house. Didn't really work out. There was just too much to talk about. It was going to take too long. There was no way it was going to work. So we're back. We're here.
From outer space.
We've even
Just
resurrected
walked in to find.
camera A, which had previously died.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not no big deal.
After the never mind. I was gonna say after the Butlerian Jihad, we had to get rid of we had to put the new camera down and go back to the old one.
Well, is what it is. We're just trying to make it Dune 1 and Dune 2. We're going to give a little synopsis before each one, and then spoilers are going to abound. We just want to talk about it. A lot of different things to get to. This will probably be a long one. I don't know if we're going to break it up into 2 episodes. Stay tuned and find out. Like, subscribe, do all the things. I'm saying it first. I'll say it last. Maybe even in the middle. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Right? What did you think of both Dune 1 and... No, not yet. Don't go to 2 yet, man. Calm it down. So Dune 1, what do you think?
Pretty good. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up? Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Tentatively.
Tentatively.
No, I thought it was really good when I first saw it in theaters because I hadn't watched it again before you said something about doing this. Yeah, when I first saw this, I did not really understand what was going on. There's a lot of things happening. I remember thinking that and saying that coming out. It's like there's a lot of stuff. It was pretty stuff, and there's a lot going on, but I have no idea what any of it meant or what the consequences of this are going to be. Like I understood that the basic premise was house of like there are royal houses that control planets and territories. There is a universal or at least galactic, they don't really clarify in the movies, empire.
Right. Not like they don't say like empire or federation or anything, any of these terms that you would know from other. Like this feels like a world like a Star Wars or a Star Trek. Like it's going to be that kind of world that we're being introduced to
there's some
in these movies.
Political system in place that they don't totally explain.
So there are royal houses and there is an emperor above those houses.
Yeah, and so the most valuable substance in the universe is spice, which is like a psychoactive thing that is used to help give people certain abilities, which help to replace some of the functionality of computers, because as I alluded to with my camera joke, if you can call it a joke, anything I forget how exactly they put it, like something that seeks to replicate a human mind or something like that. So basically computers, thinking machines, whatever, those have all been banned and destroyed.
Yeah, and when we first tried to record this, you talked about that you've got some. Now, the thing he just mentioned, this is not ever. There's no movie.
They don't say it at all. It's you
like knowledge of.
You'll
this.
see that there's no screens. There's no like laptops. Like the vehicles are high tech, but they all are a little bit Star Wars ish in that they all look kind of 30, 40 years old. They all look kind of analog. Yeah, the most high tech thing you probably see is like the holographic book. I forget exactly what he calls it, where he's taking his lessons. He's learning about the Fremen and how to sandwalk and all that from this book that just sits out and projects like a lesson. But spice is needed to create like the 3 main groups that have kind of replaced computers and technology or come up alongside like the downfall of them, which is the Bene Gesserit, the Navigator Guild, right? Is that the?
I mean, you tell me, because you're.
I can't think of
this
if
is
they
outside of the movie stuff.
If they use
again.
a different word for it, but it's basically or wayfinders, whatever they call them. There's some word, but they're the people who can navigate. Like they are literally submerged, like in a chamber of spice, either fluid or gas or something. They're exposed to it like their entire lives. They're basically not even human anymore. And they can sort of see all the possibilities, so they can find safe ways for ships to navigate. That's
right, and just like we referenced in the first attempt we did at this, where like the seers or whatever they called them from Minority Report, same kind of thing that throughout with them, but that's how they navigate. They don't say that, and they just say in the movie you need spice to be able to have space navigation. That's it. Boop, ends. So one of the things that I want to get into very much so is the technology aspect of
But-
these movies, but that's not part of the synopsis. So
we got hung up on the whole spice thing.
not him. I'm ready to
The
roll.
other group is the Mentants, which we'll see. It's like human computers, basically. You see the one dude who's with Leto Atreides, whose like eyes roll back. And he's like, "Oh, they spent this much money coming here."
Right.
But Arrakis is under the control of the Harkonnen house. It is being handed over to Atreides, and shenanigans will ensue. That's basically
Shenanigans will ensue,
the
yes.
synopsis. And everybody's pretty sure that Atreides is being set up for failure, and that's kind of the whole plot.
It is. There's that plot that's going on. Then there is another that is, you would maybe think secondary plot, but it ends up, I think, becoming more of a major plot point, and that is the coming of the One. So this group that he mentioned, the Bene Gesserit, who I liken to, there's a book series. They just made it into a show on Prime, which did very poorly because they did not do it in the manner everybody hopes that they would.
Wheel of Time?
The Wheel of Time series. And in the Wheel of Time series, there's a group. It's all women, the Aes Sedai, in this series, and they part of their deal is they have powers, and they're the only ones that do. And so this seemed very similar in those veins. I would be interested, and I don't know when it was written. I feel like Frank Herbert's Dune, the novel, was written before.
Dune came out in 65.
Is it Robert Jordan? Robert Jordan did the Wheel of Time series? I'm almost positive Robert Jordan did the Wheel of Time series. I'm pretty confident in that.
I do not.
And if that's the case, I'd be interested to know, did one influence the other? There's some very interesting similarities. But yeah, and then you've got this group who, they're kind of the string pullers, you come to find out, of the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very interesting story that's woven in about Paul and his mother.
Yeah.
And
Sorry,
just,
Chet. There's a lot of that I missed the first time through that I caught the second time.
I can see that, sure.
There's a lot of Jessica, his mother, who is not his father's wife, but it's like a concubine.
That's the kind of how they refer
But
to her,
they're
yes.
in love, and there's a point where he says, like, I should have married you.
Mm-hmm.
But she's a Bene Gesserit, and she's apparently teaching Paul this stuff. Like, there's a scene where they're at breakfast, and he's like, can you pass me the water or salt or whatever it is? And she's like, make me. So he's trying to use the voice, which is a thing that compels somebody to... It's a Jedi mind trick.
Jedi mind trick, yes. Yes.
But I didn't catch, like, this is something she's teaching him that maybe she's not supposed to. And that does end up kind of becoming a thing of the Bene Gesserit realizing that Paul is learning stuff that boys are not supposed to learn. Again, it's not really something that they explain in the movie, except for like maybe 3 lines where they say boys are not supposed to do this, or males are not supposed to do this, and males can't survive the process of like becoming a Bene Gesserit and gaining access to like ancestral memories and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in this movie, this movie includes several actors that I think everybody will know from different things, and we'll get into them as we get to them as characters. Jessica, I don't think I knew from a lot of other things that I just placed her from anything impactful.
I only knew her from Mission Impossible.
Okay.
She was, I don't know, one of the recent ones. Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol. I might be mixing those names up.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, for some reason, those two blend together for me. It's like Pretty Little Liars and Vampire Diaries. I had a girlfriend who watched those, and I literally did not know that they were 2 different shows and didn't know that there was more than one of these girls that was like white with pale skin and brown hair until I saw multiple of them on the screen at once.
Okay. All right.
So I always just refer to it as, oh, you're watching Vampire Liars.
Okay.
I don't know what show it is.
Lying Vampires. Great. Love it. Yeah, so there's this group, and all these different actors that you're going to know that we will reference as we get through into this, but you've got these main two plots going on. You've got this house, royal houses infighting, string pulling by this religious group who's kind of pulling the strings of the emperor, who's having this stuff go on over here, while we're also dealing with this group paving the way for the coming of the one who is Paul Atreides. Which is, I mean, there's nothing spoilers here as far as that goes.
And it's not clear if they actually believe it. Like, I think there's a point where Paul asks Jessica, like, is this what you actually believe, or is this just propaganda? And when they arrive on Arrakis, a bunch of them are saying Lisan al-Gaib, which I didn't catch on to before because I hadn't heard that phrase 1,000 times before seeing both of them. I hadn't seen Javier Bardem be like, oh, Lisan al-Gaib. Like, dude, you know, like, whoa, my mind is blown. But yeah, they're all like, oh, it's an outworlder who speaks our language and knows our ways and all this stuff. And he's just like studying it like you would.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were going to go to
and doing
France
things
or something, you probably sign up for Duolingo for a month or two and learn how to ask directions, or like, give me a beer, or where's the bathroom, basic stuff.
So yeah, it's what they say is one of the things about the Lisan al-Gaib, is he knows the ways. He is born into it.
Yeah,
he just understands it
as if he's born to them or something. Is how they put it.
I mean, and it's really something like the way somebody like a Mozart would understand music. That you and I can't sit down at the piano at the age he was and just understand what. Nope. But there are people who do that, and like for them, the coming of this one, he being Paul is showing some of these traits. Now,
yeah, like when he like does his boots and his like pant cuffs in a certain way, and the one Fremen woman's like, "Oh, who taught you to do that?" And he goes, "This just seems the logical way."
Yeah, just made sense.
And she says, one of those lines like, "Oh, he'll know our ways."
In their language.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the basics of what's going on here. You got two different plot points, and they're really, these carry on through both movies. The plot, they don't really change. It's Paul being the one, and this house infighting and how that plays out and what's going on with it, and it introduces other and new different characters.
The only reason this is two movies is they couldn't get away with a 6-hour theatrical release.
No, dude. Well, I mean, yes and no. One of the factoids about this is the fact that the second movie wasn't greenlit until the first one did well, even though they wanted to do it as it's going to be a 1-2. They wouldn't greenlight it because it wasn't a known property. It was a little bit like the original Dune, but the original Dune was no wild success in any way.
I always have to say, like, everybody I knew read Dune in high school.
Everybody you knew. What?
Well, I guess maybe my particular high school is weird, and that book just made
high school jerk off friends. Like, come on,
well,
what even? Come on.
I just assume people know about Dune,
and some some of our people do, but yeah, it wasn't as bankable yet. So they said as soon as shortly after it came out, they like immediately greenlit the sequel, and hopefully the sequel's done well enough. They're just going to keep up with this because like he said, I am 100% invested.
3 or 4 main books, plus I think Frank Herbert's son has continued to do them.
I honestly don't know.
There are
any of that.
I looked it up. There's like 27 of them. But
what?
Only like 4 were written by Frank Herbert.
Why are you making me not want to start reading them now? Why would you do that?
I'm gonna read the ones by Frank Herbert for sure. I'm not gonna bother with the rest.
But maybe they're really good. I don't know.
They might be really good. So maybe I'll keep doing it. Like, I've read all the Bond books that Ian Fleming wrote, and every once in a while I'll grab one that's written by somebody else that's newer and kind of... I mean, they were all always unconnected. There were some plot points that carried through, but it's like, it is fun every once in a while. Like, I remember our Borders or whatever, some bookstore was closing. Like, walked in right immediately in the door. Carte blanche, a Bond novel, whatever. Okay, grab that, bought that. It's fun. So there's a lot, like I said, that I didn't catch. I didn't really understand what the voice thing was, or why they were doing that, or why the Bene Gesserit cared about any of it, because they don't explain very much of it.
They
And if
don't.
you're-
But to actually answer a question you brought up earlier is, you said at one point he questions Jessica, Lady Jessica.
Jessica.
Thank you. Which concubine, Lady Jessica? I don't know how that works. Doesn't
Mama
matter.
Jessica.
Whether or not she really believes it, but having just watched the first half of the first one again today, Paul goes through a little trial with the head Bene Gesserit lady, who's the truth sayer to the Emperor. After that, Jessica is having a conversation with her and the Bene Gesserits as they're leaving their
They're
planet.
getting in their ET style space.
Right?
It's all in the dark.
Absolutely. And he's there, a little smoky, and she doesn't see him. And then he's standing there like, oh, you heard what we said. And when she's talking to him, she mentions that we've been working on this for centuries. In our breeding houses, we think we're very close to having the one here. Some believe he already is here, which I do honestly believe. Throughout the course of this, Jessica believes he's the one.
I do too, yeah. I think that she actually believes it, and I think the Reverend Mother, or whatever the leader lady's name is, because I think she's called that, and then Jessica's called that in the second one, because she's that for the front end.
Arrakis or Dune.
But it's well, go on.
Well, I do want to get into, so now we have kind of settled. This is the basic plot points of the movie.
Yeah, the main thing that we didn't mention was really that Paul does not buy into his own hype. Like, he is like, this is all
Immediately
propaganda.
correct. Yes.
I don't believe this stuff. I don't think that the Bene Gesserit are doing this because they actually are into it. I think it's all propaganda to help us take advantage of these people and control, through superstition.
All right, so going through the first movie, one of the first things I want to talk about is when this happens, you're immediately shown there's a transition of power. This Herald of Change is sent by the Emperor, and Leto Atreides, as played by, and I forgot it last time too. Hook me up.
Oscar
Isaac. And who I liked in this, I like Oscar Isaac.
I like him a lot. I really liked him. I mean,
did you see Moon Knight at all, by the way?
I watched a couple episodes. He was good in that, but like the plot was just sort of meandering. I didn't.
Which is unfortunate, because if you've ever read any of the comic of Moon Knight,
I have.
Is a fantastic character.
But yeah, and I liked him a lot in Star Wars. I feel like a lot of people think that folks who didn't like those movies don't like the characters. They had great characters. They just didn't do anything with them. I was so stoked when the very first thing you see is a stormtrooper take his helmet off, and it's like, oh my god, is this our antagonist? Like, a former stormtrooper is going to be the new Jedi or whatever. Like, I thought Finn was our guy. And then I thought, okay, Finn's going to be the Jedi. Rey is going to be
Han Solo.
some kind of Han Solo type.
Right.
Yeah, and then, but you're also going to have Oscar Isaac just
Right.
like,
He's the Han Solo one. Like,
yeah,
they try to
it
kind
was
of.
a little bit unclear, and then they were like, no, she's everything. And they just run around going, Rey.
Yep.
He was just wasted in that.
You are right a little bit. But yeah, Oscar Isaac plays
He's
the head of the House Atreides.
yeah, Leto
in
Atreides.
this.
He
And-
is father of Paul Atreides.
In this
concubine haver of
scene,
Lady
concubine haver of Lady Jessica. Jesus.
But he has no other like concubines or wives that we see.
That we
He
see.
has
That's true.
One
Yep.
son. He's very family oriented. It reminds me of like the Scottish Highlands or whatever. Like you would see
Very
in the
much so.
movie. They're where they're.
They even play the bagpipes on the way out to meet this at this point.
Yeah, and it's very much like a Downton Abbey sort of thing where they like they travel in person to Caladan to deliver this message in person. Like, everybody's standing around, music is playing, everybody has to be in the right spot. Those kind of rituals are like a societal version of OCD that has been acquired over like centuries of refining just these little shitty rituals you do to make important people feel more important.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like
But
that.
it's super cool to see.
Rituals like that are just peer pressure from your dead ancestors. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But in this scene, you can tell, even right here, before they start getting into it, because I'm going to talk about the immediate following to this in just a moment here, but Leto is hesitant in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. He when he's asked by the Herald of Change, do you accept this? I've come here to do this thing and transfer this great honor to you. House Atreides, we always answer the call. We're always here. We do our duty. We
Yep.
fully believe. But he's hesitant when he accepts it. He's hesitant when he does, and which is one of my favorite things of all time. And I really want to get one of these and actually start writing letters just so I have an excuse to use a wax seal. I love them.
Yes.
It's just something about that
I
that is
used to see them at
really,
God, what
really
is it
cool
called?
people's houses.
No, the
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're there.
Beyond, what is it? Beyond Timbuktu and something like these places that you can see at the
Are you
mall.
having a stroke? Or you don't? No, it's okay. It's technical difficult. It's
No, it's these like hippie stores that you see at the mall. I
mean-
swear one is called like
Oh, there was one in Northwest Plaza. It was H&S Tobacconist. I bet there was something like that in there. Now I wasn't looking for it back in the day when we were
No,
going there because it was just cool. But
it's like Beyond Earth Trading Company or something, Timbuktu, whatever. There's a couple of them that are the same. Like they have journals and like leather bags and handmade stuff and like beads and shit, but they also will have
okay,
like crystal pens and wax seals and all that kind of stuff. I think that's super cool too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that would screw up like a modern mail system. I kind of just imagine every once in a while a movie like that comes out and all of a sudden the post office is flooded with like repair requests because I was hot in the machine and this wax melted and went everywhere, or like it's meant to pass an envelope that thick through, but your
Right.
fucking wax seal is also that thick, so it doesn't make it.
that's hilarious. I never thought about that. Now
Yeah,
I want to do it even more.
I do like that they actually use that stuff, like the signet. I love the.
Do you love the cat licking themselves right behind your head as
I
we're doing this?
I love the.
For you, Halligans.
I love the world and the
Yes.
way, like the detail on everything. I love that, like, clearly there's been a lot of thought put into how everything's going to look and like the set designs. I like that the projector book thing is not just a box, because they could have just bought $100 projector off of Amazon and sat it there and then CGI'd in what it was projecting.
Yeah.
But instead, it's like this fancy leather bound thing that looks. It looks like things looked when we made them with the intention of them lasting.
Yes.
And I really like that. I like that there's a point where he's like sitting in his room and he's looking at this little miniature that I guess is supposed to be his grandfather fighting a bull, like a little stone thing. And it's like, that's probably not mass. Like he didn't buy that at like the Caladan gift shop, the spaceport. Like somebody made that. That's the only one. Like I like that kind of, when humanity is on this galactic scale, stuff becomes much smaller scale for individuals. Like you're making more stuff. It's like almost post scarcity in a way. Like the basic stuff's taken care of, so you can do other stuff. Like things can last longer. You don't have to worry about shareholder value and selling a new Hollow book every year and a half when the updates stop coming or whatever. Although it is weird that they're constantly just like sitting around. Like how many times does somebody come into Paul's room and he's just sitting there in silence, like staring at the wall or leaning on some table or bench or whatever? Like he's never nothing. You
He's
don't have.
contemplating. When you're the son of a duke, you've got a lot to, and you're next in line for the house.
Yeah, you have
There's
to,
a lot to think about.
you got to brood about it.
right?
You gotta. There's no time.
Did you
to
not
play.
ever? I mean, were you not teenager? What did you say he was supposed to be like in this movie? 22, 23 when they filmed it, something like that. But in the book, you said he's supposed to be 15, or I said that something.
You were the one that found that. Yeah. He's supposed to be 15. I knew that he was supposed to be like a teenager. You found that he was supposed to be 15.
And that, I mean, for the things that happen with this character in this, thinking about that being the case is a little bit wild. Only because it would be hard to see the person who they got to play Paul Atreides at that age being in that role. Because he's not a big guy. It's
No.
not like if you got The Rock at 15 and he's already 6'2", 190 pounds, pushing 200.
Yeah.
No, that's not what's going on here. So
where do you want to go next?
Well,
Joel, should we talk about cast? We both love the cast. I think my favorite thing in the cast is what's
Gurney?
Yeah, I was trying to think of his name. Josh Brolin.
Yes.
Josh Brolin as the War Master's name is Gurney. Oh God!
So
if I ever own a bar again, I will hire a bouncer named Stretcher. It's so good. I don't know if I'm sure it was not like on purpose that they named him that, or if it was, it's like the very tongue in cheek. They don't, because there's no other real jokey names like that.
I mean,
Gurney
kind
Halleck,
you got Gurney Halleck, and then you've got the other one who's in charge of training Paul, and that's Duncan Idaho, which I don't know why. I just hate that name in this. But if that's the name of the book, what am I going to say?
I like
it is
Duncan.
what it is.
I don't like it when you combine it with Idaho.
Yes.
That's for some
Duncan's
reason
great.
That sounds really stupid to me. That sounds like a knockoff Indiana Jones now. Duncan, Idaho.
It is, but that's so you've got both of them are actually very good in this. So Josh Brolin, this much older, grizzled general who's still, he may be leader of this military of Arrakis, but still kind of a badass in his own right. And then you've got Duncan Idaho, who's like the king's go-to guy for certain tasks.
Yeah.
One of the best fighters. He's the one. Yeah, he's the one training Paul up until he has to go and do something. And you find this out in the first movie.
I do want to let you know this cat has not stopped licking this entire time. I can hear it. I'm sure you can't.
A little bit.
Never mind. She stopped for a sec.
Because yep, there we go. So in this, right after Leto takes control, accepts control from the Herald of Change, there is a conversation that happens between him and Paul, father and son. It's a very good conversation. I really enjoyed them, and again, I'm sure this just came from the book, but I feel like we're missing things like that in some of the media that we have right now. That it has a father who's present, who's being a good role model, who's talking to his son, and he's not coddling him, yet at the same time he's not, you're only going to listen to what I say, shut up, don't have any of your own thoughts, only believe what I believe. It's a very good in-between of both of those things. Yeah. And it's the beginning of, it feels like potentially something he may have missed an opportunity to talk to Paul about earlier, because it seems like this is almost a first introduction to the fact that now that this is happening to us, it is pulling us into a very dangerous situation.
And he says that. He's like, I wish we had more time. He's super aware, which again is something I didn't catch on to the first time. He's very aware that they're being pulled into something dangerous. He's aware that the other houses look to them for leadership and guidance, and that the Emperor may be putting them in this dangerous position to squish them, to make them, to reduce their reach, their influence, to make them less of a threat to him overall.
It's very interesting because they're put in this situation which could be considered a great honor, that they have the opportunity to do something really good and to take over spice production, which is the most important thing you can do for this universe, we'll say, this Dune universe. And
Duneverse.
Duneverse. That's very good. Um,
Somebody had to have said that
so,
already.
I mean, I doubt it. We're pretty innovative here in movie Howl. I almost got through that with a straight face. So it's a super important thing they're being asked to do, but we don't know why. This movie is a very, very good with show don't tell. They do not hold your hand. You have to pay attention. You may not catch it all the first time, like it's already been evidenced right here.
Yeah, even in the movie theater, I
Mhm.
didn't catch everything. Like I just didn't. I wasn't watching for every little thing. I didn't. There's so much that's out there with it. The ships, the way people are arriving, the way people are dressed and acting. It's
Mhm.
like the whole voice thing. It's like this might as well happen. I don't know that
Mhm.
this is anything that unusual for these people, and then realize by the second movie, like, oh, he's not supposed to learn how to do that.
Yeah, there's very interesting things going on throughout the course of both of these movies that I really liked, and it was just the straight sci-fi aspect of these movies that we've been getting flashy Hollywood explosioned up Star Trek movies. Not that I haven't enjoyed those, because there were parts of them that I did enjoy, but then we're getting these Star Wars movies that have been so horrific. I am completely checked out of the Star Wars universe, which at one point in my young life, I was 100% full on board Star Wars over, it's a Star Trek at that point.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, that was kind of a thing. I had a friend who was so into Star Wars, he like wanted to start fights with people who were into Star Trek.
Mm.
So he saw like the VHS box set at my house, and he was like, "Oh, you like Star Trek?" And I was like, "I like them both. They're super different. They're
Yeah.
not at all like substitutes for one another.
Not even close. They're so different.
Mhm.
And that's one of the things I have very much enjoyed about both of these movies is the sci-fi aspect of all of it. That you're just seeing things happen. There's this floating light that follows Paul around in the beginning of the first movie. They don't say anything about it. It's just happening in the background of what's going on, like him learning off that tablet, and they don't make any reference to why it looks the way it does, why it's built that way, and it's just things are happening. And I really, really enjoyed that aspect of it. The world is built like you talked about, the production values, what they're choosing to do, the sets, the design, everything they're choosing to do in this is super well done, and it's giving me something that I don't feel like I have had in a very long number of years.
I've never seen. We've known each other a fairly long time now.
Right.
I've never seen you as excited about talking about something as you were about this.
Yeah, this world that they have
Like
created
you watched
here.
the first one, and you're like, "That's all right. We'll see how the second one goes." And then
Mm-hmm.
after like halfway through the second one, you're like, "Oh my god, we have to. Are they making more of these?
Right.
Like, we need more of these. We need to talk about it."
I do. It really.
And then I rewatched both of them, and I got all amped up too. I was like, "Fuck, these are
And
really good."
I don't. I think it's that. I think I'm realizing right here that that's what it is. That's making me so excited about this. This is what I was missing. Like I grew up on Star Trek: The Next Generation. These weekly stories that would come out, and some of the storyline went through over a long course of time, but mostly just these little bitty things. And it was what it was, but it was really well done. And my dad watched Babylon 5, which is so much more well done if you know it than it really had any right to be. It was very, very well done and well written. And Star Wars, we had these things that we liked, and these other 2001: A Space Odyssey and Planet of the Apes, and there were these sci-fi things in our past that really, I mean, you might even throw Terminator in there if you really wanted.
Yeah, most of the sci-fi stuff you're making me realize has been, it's not like fantasy sci-fi, it's like horror or thriller sci-fi. Like it's all aliens.
And some of that has its own place.
Yeah, it does.
For sure.
It does, but that's all we're getting. You're not getting any. I mean, they turned Star Trek into Star Wars basically for the new ones. Like it still has some Star Trek DNA to me, but it's a lot more action heavy. I don't think that's what it was meant to be. A lot of people are like, well, it was 64 that they very first started filming some of this stuff, and they couldn't do a lot of this back then, but like they could have tried more. it's clear that the action stuff was meant to be mostly like person to person. It was supposed to be intellectual. It was supposed to teach you lessons about like society and justice and how silly some of the little issues that we have are. Whereas Star Wars is about go to Swamp Planet, Frogman teach you swing lightsaber good.
I was gonna say they taught us about space priests and
about hope. I mean, that was Luke's whole deal. He was like Peter Parker. He was like, you almost couldn't get him down.
Almost.
Well, you couldn't the way it was originally written because
that is accurate. He's this happy-go-lucky farm kid, smoking womp rats.
Yeah,
because T9 back home.
In the newer
T19
movies, in the interviews, he was saying like, "This isn't Luke. This is." He's like, "Let's call him Jake Skywalker because it doesn't make any sense. Like Luke would never act like this. Luke would never." He's like, "I've been playing this character for 40 years, 50 years. Like he would not abandon his students. He would not be tempted to kill his nephew."
Yeah, there's
Anyway,
it's accurate. All the things that we're talking about, how much the world's drawn me in. I really wanted to just say thank you to the director, Denis Villeneuve. I'm sure I butchered that and I apologize. I'm sure he'll hear of us.
I'm sure it's like Villanueva or something, or it has
maybe.
It's either that or it has a very non-obvious pronunciation.
Probably is Villeneuve. Super, thank you for doing this. Thank you for having the vision and the courage and the studios for allowing it to happen, because this is giving me something I didn't even know that I was missing. And so really, really appreciate it. Can't wait to read the books and see kind of where that goes from there. But as far as getting into some of the rest of this, the other half of the story of what's going on here, the Bene Gesserit, the setting up the coming of the one, a prophesized one, like a Jesus or a Neo from a more movie sci-fi aspect of it, and the journey of Paul and his mother as they go through all this, it's super interesting, and it kept me engaged throughout all of these movies. It's almost 6 hours of movie. It's almost 3 hours apiece. And I'm just more sucked in now. I feel like even after 6 hours of this, we are barely scratching the surface of what this universe could bring us. Almost in the way that we felt that with John Wick and the world that they built without talking about it, the gold coins and the rules and the different things. It's this, and there's so much behind what we have just seen in this first beginning stages of these two movies is really, really exciting for what could be coming.
Yeah. And I took a couple notes here of things that I was noticing along the way. So right away, I did write, boys are not supposed to have this power, and they seem to be waiting for a wand.
That's misogynist. No, I'm sorry. That's misandrist. I apologize. That's misandrist. The hell?
Yeah, Leto Atreides is very aware that like bad stuff is coming for him. But I noted that it's interesting that when the Atreides are given control, they all go to the planet. And they move there. They take all their stuff, they move, they make a big entrance, like they have heralds and whatever who are there to play bagpipes and protect them and whatever. Like do a meet and greet, take selfies, shake hands, kiss babies, or shake babies, kiss hands.
Yeah, something like that, shaking babies.
And don't shake babies. You never see Baron Harkonnen do that until the very end of the second movie. You see him actually there in... Well, that's not true. You see him there for a little while, and then he's injured and gone, and then he's back for a while. But he's always like in the shadows and controlling things. I just like the contrast that Leto Atreides is like, we're going to rule by desert power because we are going to make allies of the people there. We're not going to wipe them out.
Who we haven't even mentioned yet.
Yeah, and we're going to find out in minutes that there are like 50 times more of these people on this planet than
Than
the
they thought.
Harkonnens ever thought.
Right.
Because the Harkonnens are so close-minded.
Right, so arrogant that they wouldn't even think to go search out the people who are surviving in this ridiculously hostile environment. And that's a really good contrast between House Atreides and House Harkonnen. And
Yeah, and then the biggest moment is probably when the spice crawler or whatever the harvester, when that thing gets eaten by the sandworm. Also, I love all the names. There are so many names in this weird language that's like everything has a unique made up name, or maybe it's real, but it's not just plain English. And then it's like this giant majestic creature that is the reason for the thing that is the most valuable thing on this planet. We'll call that
Shai Halub.
but they just call it sandworm most of the time.
Yes.
I like that it's just sandworm. It's like if we had all these incredible words for everything, and it's like, what's that called? Pointing at a car, it's like, that's a wheel box. I don't know. I thought that was funny, but yeah, the way that he's like, forget the harvester, get the people out. Like dump the stuff out of these ornithopters. Like we need to save the people. It's a really. It was more impactful the second time, realizing how differently the two families approached the planet and the people. And I also realized how much Paul was guided by his visions. Because I didn't really understand exactly what was going on with him during that scene when they're trying to rescue those folks. That, he
It's
like
his
gets
first
lost
interaction
in the
with spice.
sandstorm. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's like, he's affected by the spice, but this movie is so hard to hear. Or it's very easy to hear. It's very difficult to understand.
Can be.
And
I always have subtitles on because I don't want to miss anything like
what
that.
I
It's too
wasn't-
low, hard to hear.
Yeah.
They mumble. You know how I hate the mumbling. So.
What I wasn't catching was that he was like, it wasn't a hallucination or I wasn't disoriented or whatever. Like there's spice in the air and I saw this vision. And like the stuff that he's doing, like he wakes up, like I thought it was just kind of a cool framing thing to have him kneeling in front of this harvester. But no, it's because he's having this vision and it just kind of guided him there and he happens to be there. He's not like trying to. Like he's not trying to go up to that thing. He just happens to be at it because that's where his vision took him. And I didn't realize just how much throughout it it's like, well, I'm having these dreams and now the dreams are getting more detailed and there's new things happening and I'm learning new stuff and I've seen somebody that was in this dream and now that there's spice in the air, I'm having these waking visions. And I just didn't realize how much of his progression was sort of guided by that until the second time through. And how much it's still kind of weird. It's like, really, you don't think you're the one. But you're having visions and all this stuff that are like leading you in the right way.
Yeah,
And he becomes this, like he goes to the Fremen, he learns their ways, he already knows their language, he's humble, he fits in fairly well, he does everything right, and he eventually like earns their trust. And I think the best thing he does,
he's almost like the Rey Skywalker of this movie.
You mean Ray Palpatine? Thank you.
Oh,
Very
my bad.
Some bitch. The best thing he does is to choose the name Wadib, the little mouse.
Yep.
He does.
Which I love that.
He's not like do you have like a badass horse with like knives on its tail and all that? Like what's the baddest animal you have on this planet other than the sandworm?
Oh, right.
He's just like, oh, what's this little mouse I keep saying? And Stilgar, Javier Bardem,
Yes.
who is fantastic in that role.
Yes.
Him and
He really sells it.
Jamis or Jami, however you say his name.
Jamis.
Is it just Jamis?
Jamis.
That guy, I forget his name, but it's the guy that plays Joseph Mbanga in Strange New Worlds. I'm sure he's been in other of the new Star Trek properties, but I really like him.
I'll take it. I
enjoyed seeing him in this more, having watched what they've released so far of Star Trek Strange New Worlds and really liking him in that. But I think they were both super well cast. But him being humble, being like, yeah, this stuff is BS. Like half of the group is religious and they're like, this guy is the one. And half of them are like, no, there is no one. We're just fighting for us. Like, there's no one to save us. And he is siding with the ones who don't believe in him, which is like the perfect way to get everybody on your side. Because he's like, hey, I'm just trying to help you guys.
Right.
Like, I don't care about them who like have this religious belief in me.
Yeah, the progression of that, his character, him being the one, how he views himself in this role is very interesting. And it starts, I mean, I guess technically it starts with the scene that you mentioned with him and his mother in the morning having breakfast and, oh, Mom, I just got up. Like, come on, do we have to do this right now? It was that little bit of an exchange between them in that scene was interesting, and I enjoyed it. But immediately after that, it's head Bene Gesserit comes to test him because Lady Jessica has been training him. She shouldn't have even had him. Should have had her.
That
but
was
had
another
him.
thing that we found out was the Bene Gesserit. One of their like abilities is they have extreme control over their bodies and their physiological processes. So she can choose what gender child she's going to have, which I don't understand because that's supposed to come from the male side.
Right, but
it may just be that if it is
this is in the Duneverse.
she can nullify it.
Yeah,
somehow. I don't know. Or else she can just create chromosomes that otherwise aren't there.
Who knows? They don't need to explain it. Doesn't matter. But she chose to give Leto a son, and then not only that,
which is again, something you may have been like, why are they blaming her for having a son? That's such a weird thing for them to be upset about. But yeah, I caught it this time, the next time around, that like she chose to do that.
But Paul goes through this test. And the test is very interesting. It's the hand in the box thing.
What's in the box?
Pain. Pain is in the box.
Ah.
And Jessica's on the outside of the door, and she's, to her credit, she played that scene very well. She plays this character very well. You buy into her believing her character arc and where she goes from the start to where it is at the end of the second movie. And how she has changed herself and what's going on with that, which is also in and of itself wild. But the Bene Gesserit know that we have to test him because he could potentially still, like, this is what they believe. Like, I think there's a point where they're not just doing this for control. If they've been working on a bloodline for centuries, they believe this. Like, it is their thing. And so they test him with this. You can't just be an animal. I really liked this aspect of it.
Make sure you're not just an animal caught in a
Right,
trap.
exactly. Who will like an animal caught in the trap will gnaw its own arm off to get away from it, and you have to knowing that, oh yeah, we're going to do this. It's going to hurt, and you're just going to have to sit there and deal with it. There was nothing that kept him. I realized it this time. Nothing kept him from yanking his hand out of that box.
Right.
It wasn't like when you put your hand in something and it's one of those like in Saw and you try to pull your hand out and it's got you.
Yeah.
And no, nothing. He could have pulled his hand out.
His hand's just in there.
And I think that's the moment when I first watched this that I realized, this actor, he might be okay. Like the different transitions of how he went through that was very good.
Brendan Fraser in George of the Jungle, but he's pretty good.
He's pretty. He might be okay.
Might be all right.
So yeah, that whole, it's maybe my favorite aspect of the world in here is going to be with these Bene Gesserit and Paul himself and how all this plays out, because it's a little up in the air whether or not they're just doing this to have control over this one planet, which is where they get the one thing that all of them need to have space travel, which is kind of important. Like, you can't just take that away, and it's not okay. Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to see after these couple of movies where they go from here. I am all in 100%.
All right, so do we want to end it for Dune Part 1 here? We'll get into Dune Part 2 and spoilers, or do you have more to say?
I mean, okay. The one of the characters we haven't really talked about so far is Duncan Idaho. We mentioned his name.
Yeah.
Played by Khal Drago.
Yeah.
Also known as it's too bad. I should have had it ready. Sorry, Halligans.
Jacob Mimosa.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say his name from the Minecraft movie.
Oh,
Randy Thunderballs. Like it was something ridiculous. It was really good.
Trash Man.
Trash for the Trash Man. Uh,
I
But-
can't remember his whole shtick, but yeah.
so
Trash Man or Garbage Man?
yeah.
Garbage
Garbage Man.
Garbage Man Garrett.
Yeah, something like that. So the character of Duncan Idaho, he plays his older brother-esque figure to Paul. That's
very
that's
much
what it
reminded
felt
me-
like.
Like when you see Duncan arrive on one of those ornithopters and he
Mm-hmm.
and he jumps out and like gives Paul a hug and all that. It reminded me of Luke and Han seeing each other in that bay in Empire, whichever movie it was. Like it's one where they just haven't seen each other in a while. They're like, they run and hug and all that. It's like they have some kind of existing bond that they don't elaborate on. But
Yeah, they don't at all. You find out that Duncan was the one who was training him up until Duncan's sent away on a special mission.
Yeah, and then it
that
was
Paul wants to go on. Nope, you can't. You're not
Gurney.
allowed.
Gurney.
Yeah, and it does. It felt very nice, very big brother, little brother kind of a situation. And I thought it was really downplayed, but Duncan's character I thought was it was well cast for who it was. I do like him.
Yeah, for once he didn't feel shoved into something to be like ironic.
Yeah,
That it's like one of the coolest people on Earth is going to play this super dorky character. It's like this is the kind of role he was made for. This reminded me a lot of like the first thing I ever saw him in, which was Stargate Atlantis,
okay.
where he plays this kind of like outlaw who has to like find his own way. You know, like a lot of it is him navigating, him knowing how to get around these planets and stuff that humanity's never been around before and all that. And he kind of acts like a guide for them. And he sort of does the same thing here. He goes out, doesn't really know what he's doing, finds the Fremen, ends up fighting some of them, almost dies, like learns their ways. Like he understands when Stilgar comes in and spits on the table, like everybody else grabs their knives. And he's like, thank you for your generous gift of your moisture.
Yeah, and he really plays the bridge between these two peoples that Paul's father, Leto Atreides, has in his plan. He understands in order for us to make this work, we're not coming in with all this equipment, we're not coming in with all this knowledge. This other family's been doing it for all these years.
Yeah, they don't have 80 years of spice revenue
Right.
under their belt.
To lean on.
Yeah, and they're like all the equipment that they get is in shambles. Like everything, they've been set up for failure in every way.
And it's so ridiculous. Like I want to. There's. To be fair, out of storyline and what we've talked about thus far, we are halfway into this movie, and right about halfway into this movie is when the knife in the back happens. The Harkonnens attack, as really kind of pushed, egged on by the Emperor. Like this was kind of the grand design of this. That
there's
House Atreides was getting a little uppity. They don't get into it a lot with it, but that's kind of the idea that you get.
Yeah, and we get early on that the Harkonnens are into malicious compliance. They will give you.
They're brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yes, they are. I wonder how many times
Gurney
they
had to
made
say,
Josh Brolin.
brutal.
Yeah, he like forces that one out. He like.
But it is
They probably had to have a medic on site just to make sure he doesn't like blow a
check his blood pressure after every.
drop a
Brutal.
ring or something after that. Brutal. Yeah, it's like maybe he was just fed up. He's like, I'm not fucking doing it again. But they're very much like, sure, we won't kill them. We're going to leave them in the desert where they're going to die. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't do it. The desert did it.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's the kind of people they are. And I like it a lot. Like,
Yes.
you don't have to have super deep villains. They can just be villains. They don't have to be like relatable, misunderstood, nothing. They just have to be entertaining to watch and satisfying to see defeated if that's what's going to happen.
Yep. We have Drax the Destroyer, who plays Raban as Raban Harkonnen, who is the nephew of Baron Harkonnen,
Baron.
played by Skarsgård.
Yes.
Which
Stellan
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård.
The
I
elder
didn't
Skarsgård.
look it up, but I knew who that was. Yeah, he was the one that was the scientist one in the Avenger.
Thor.
In Thor,
Thor.
and I think he popped up in Avengers, maybe the
Probably.
first one.
He's been in a lot. If you don't know him, then I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah,
And he's
it's
so
totally
good
he
as
is
this Baron
so
Harkonnen.
covered up in makeup and all these prosthetics.
It's
and all
almost
this
a little
stuff.
bit hard to tell it's him, but the voice, it's him. Like it's
totally
him.
the voice that makes it. Yeah, and I don't understand what he's supposed to be because he's like huge and fat, which one sympathizes, but he has so much muscle. Like the way his shoulders are all built up and stuff, and he'll just grab somebody and like lift them up the ground, snap their neck, all this shit. Yeah, like is it sloth or is it just a combination of like he's lazy and self-indulgent, but this is still how powerful he is because this is how stuff just is for their race or their species, because they're all supposed to be human, but they're different depending on what planet they're from.
Yeah, it's another part of the world that they just don't get into a whole lot. They refer to them as human, but they're not, like he says, not even human.
With like a black sun.
They're
So they're all like, they all have alopecia.
Mm-hmm.
They have like these big black eyes. Like they're really well designed. I like the look of
it's
them.
almost okay. They do a little bit.
Planet I like a lot.
They a little bit remind me of the alien from Prometheus.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest.
For sure.
So, and to be fair, in the second movie, and I'm sure we'll get into it, one of my favorite characters is a Harkonnen. Out of both these movies, he's super good. I just liked him. The way he was portrayed, the actor who did it did a very good job playing that character. But we'll get into him. So, halfway point happens. There's some betrayal that goes on. The Harkonnens attack. House Atreides is basically wiped out, and then you've got Paul and his mother, and a few other of very specific characters who kind of get away. And the second half of the movie, well, it's the last third of the movie is probably what it is, where Paul and his mother are on their own, because there's a good chunk of it that's just dealing with the betrayal, the attack, the aftermath of that. And so Paul and his mother off on their own. Very, very big coincidence that the siege they find and the person that it's Stilgar. It's one of the only criticisms that I could level at this if I really wanted to, if I was stretching, but
I don't really care. Because
I don't care either.
He's been guided by his visions.
Yes.
Like even when they're in the sandstorm, like he remembers something from one of his visions or whatever, like just ride the wind or like let it, whatever he remembers. And he's like, oh, that means I'm just supposed to shut this thing off and just let the storm carry us for a while.
Yeah. It's very interesting with the things that go on in this.
And the fact that his mother is just like looking at him like, okay, he's the leader now. Bullshit. As a grown man, and have been a grown man for a long time, my mother has never seen me as anything but a kid still. Like, if she's like, my air conditioner is broken, or there's something leaking in the ceiling, or the water softener doesn't, whatever, then she'll call me. But it's like, if I have an opinion to offer, she's like, I made you. You were born like 15 minutes ago. Get out of here.
Right?
So for her to trust him, that's another thing that leads me to think that she believes the whole
She actually believes
thing.
it, yes.
Is she just like kind of watches him? She's like, okay. He's like, all right, this is what we have to do. Like, shuts everything down. Yep. She's like, all right, I'm gonna lock in.
Fear's the mind killer.
Fear's
it. Fear's the mind. But and see, that was my first thing. If I really wanted to stretch, I could do that. But then this movie sets things up very well. And before, in earlier scenes in the movie, Duncan was talking about it and talking about the siege where he was, the direction he went to do it. And so even just little bitty tiny breadcrumbs like that, you could say, oh, he asked him about the compass. It's like, oh, this is, they use, oh, it's Fremen make? Yeah, they have all these neat little things. They have this and they have that and they have this thing. And so they breadcrumbed it. And I'm like, oh, what a stupid, that's a coincidence? Like that's something that I would think to call out in other movies. And then as I had watched it again and I'm like note taking on, I'm like, wait a second, this isn't a coincidence. They actually set it up for it to be connected and it to make sense. So the decisions that were made in this, and I don't know if that was book decision or just director decision in the movie, know a screenwriter kind of a thing. No idea. Doesn't matter because it was fantastic. And I really enjoyed how everything fit together from one thing to another in these movies.
And how seriously they take it.
Mm-hmm.
There's levity when there needs to be. Like, the mood is always believable. There's the scene where they're in, might be in the second.
Then you can't talk about it.
They're next to like the sacred pool or whatever. With the sacred water.
The body water.
The
Yeah.
body water, yeah.
Uh,
I know. Just think about it. It's like,
we would never drink that. Oh, really? No kidding.
Yeah. How could you be in the middle of a desert and be like, there's this huge body of clean water here, but none of us are going to touch it?
I'm pretty sure I wrote down in my notes the number, the number he says for that. That's the trillions of gallons, or it's something ridiculous. It's some super dumb.
Yeah, it's like, you know how there's no water on this planet for like plants? It's because you put it here, right? You don't touch it,
right?
And there's like dozens of these around the planet too. No, but my thought was like, if this was a Marvel movie, should have been like, what is this? And he would have shown it to her, and then she would have fallen in and be like, oh no, there I go falling again.
Yeah, this movie rolls like it's long. It doesn't feel that way. There's a lot going on. It is a movie I would recommend. And I know you do not like to watch things back like over and over again.
Yeah.
You like to watch it and then let it sit, and then I'll get back to it a few years down the road.
Right.
This, I really appreciated watching this more than one time and catching the things I didn't see before. There's a lot of rewatchability in these movies because the world is so deep and so well done, and I feel like every time I watch it, I'm going to catch something new, some little detail that somebody chose to put in there.
Yeah.
Nothing is on screen that wasn't a direct decision by somebody involved making it.
You're not going to find a Starbucks cup on a table in this movie, yeah.
I thought you were going to say you're not going to find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. But
no, it's the kind of movie where you need to be invested in it. Like, you need to pay attention to it. If you don't get it, it will make sense by the second one, but you have to not be on your phone the whole time. That is the mind killer. The phone is the mind killer.
Yes, it is.
Like, seriously, I've been thinking about I thought about it today, and I'll just say it for here in case one or two people have made it this far into this video, but I feel like when, like, in the past, people would be further along in their lives by our age than a lot of us are. Like, there's a lot of people who are kind of like still big kids, and it's like, I don't know if that's because we can sort of afford to do that now. Like, we are able to indulge in hobbies and things that we like more than we used to be able to. Like, we don't take ourselves quite as seriously. But I also wonder if part of it is like we're placating ourselves with YouTube and Instagram and doom scrolling on X or Blue Sky or whatever else you use. Like, you know, maybe it was that people would, like, we've talked about hobbies. Like, he used to do martial arts and stuff. Like, my brother was honestly could have been a professional comic book artist, but he just never thought of it as like a career. He's incredible, and he can play all kinds of instruments by ear, which is irritating.
I bet it is.
Like, I tried super hard to learn the guitar. I got kind of good at it, but my parents ordered me with bare paws instead of hands, so it's really it's tough. But yeah, it's like, I wonder how many people today have a talent that they do not know about, or could be further along in some career or learning a language or whatever else it is that they want to do with their lives, but they're not, because we're living in an economy where companies are trying to monopolize all of your time. They want to occupy every free second to show you as many ads and as much junk as they possibly can.
Yep, keep you engaged. It is. It's like the easiest time that out of all the time in human history, and there are some people around the world who have it just as terrible now for them as it was 1,000 years ago for everybody. Sure. It's just as bad for them right now. But for a lot of us in some of the Western style countries, it's a lot of ease.
Pretty
really
easy, yeah. Like, you can do I mean, the job I have right now is pretty easy. It doesn't require that much of my time, honestly. Like it's not bad. Like it's one of these like there's a YouTuber I follow who talks about work and finance and all this stuff, and she was talking about like golden handcuffs can be at any level of income. You can make a ton of money and hate your job and be like, but my kids, my wife, me, we're all used to this lifestyle. I have to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You can also be like, I'm only making 50, 60 grand a year, but the work is so easy. I can't just leave this. Like maybe I could do something on top of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like but anyway, it just like you have to not pay attention to your phone to watch this movie and really get it.
Yeah.
But also,
it is worth
It's
paying
kind of an
attention to.
example of, Paul is preparing for this trip. He's learning this language. He is learning,
About the
there's
people.
sandworms here and you could die just from walking around. Let me learn how to walk around on this planet without dying. Like he's spending his time doing that instead of whatever, future space equivalent of Tinder is.
The future space. Like, yeah, the world is so interesting. I mean, maybe partly because you have this technology that we do not have. Space flight, intergalactic, and the things that they're doing.
Yeah, human computers, like levitation, these force fields.
So much. We're not even getting into technology yet. That's going to be in part 2. I have a lot to say about the technology aspect of this in that, how that goes. But when we're used to everything else in the sci-fi universe, they almost all universally involve computers to some degree, and this doesn't. Like you mentioned the first one, kind of why that was, and we'll probably get back into that when we talk about the technology aspect of this.
Yeah.
But it is really draws you into it. Very interesting how they do everything. And to kind of close this out, you've got what has gone on thus far, the gifting of the planet to House Atreides, the fall of House Atreides, the being lost in the desert for Paul and his mom and finding the Fremen, and it's really starting on the journey of becoming the
Lisan al-Gaib.
Lisan al-Gaib.
Lisan al-Gaib. I was walking around my house just yelling that to the dog. Because you hear it so much. Like it just occurs to me in the moment. Like I go to the kitchen, get a cup of coffee, and come back. Lisan al-Gaib.
And there's another
and then
term.
That sting, that like that voice thing that plays over and over in the first movie. I think it's less pervasive in the second one.
Which it's very reminiscent of Gladiator. And some of the singing and the music that was in that. And just so you know, the score in this is fantastic. It's Hans Zimmer, so of course it's going to be. Like, that is one of the big names of scores in Hollywood over the course of our movie watching time. It is. Score is really, really well, but I wanted to talk about or mention, what is it? It's a very specific name, and I don't want to get it wrong. But we're going to get into it in the second movie, so it doesn't really matter because I think it applies more in that. But towards the end of this movie, there is a scene where Paul and Jessica, Lady Jessica, concubine woman, meet up with Stilgar and the people, and Paul is forced to a fight.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because you and I have talked about this in other episodes that we've done. In this fight, Paul it's already been shown in this, he is no slouch. He knows how to fight. He's been trained by war masters for probably most of his young adult life.
Well known enough that the
Harkonnens.
Imperial Army and the Harkonnens know who these guys are
by name, and they're like,
they were trained by Gurney Halleck in Duncan, Idaho.
Yep.
And the Imperial people are like, the whatever. We're dope as shit.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care.
The ones that they get
Low-key,
from the Emperor. Yeah.
We're fitting to drop some bows, or however people talk now.
However they talk now. So he gets into a fight with this Jamis, who he had a vision about, and he knew.
Yeah, he's like this guide in his vision. Like he's like, I'll show you the way.
Guy, but who kills him in the vision.
Yeah.
but he kills Paul. And so he has to fight him, and there's a question of what's going on. Like, how come is he playing with him and toying with him? And he wasn't. His mother, Lady Jessica, explains he's never killed a man.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's like, "Do you yield? Do you yield?" And it's like pissing him off because
Right, because that's not what this is. No.
It's like you have to kill them,
Mhm.
and he's remembering this vision of like you have to let go of Paul Atreides. Like Paul Atreides has to go away for a while, or
Yeah.
go away completely. Like you have to become something new for this, and that's part of that fight is him locking in, be like, okay, I'm something different now. Like I got to be what I have to be to survive out here.
Yeah, it ends very well in the first movie, and you know what? We're gonna get into the second movie. There's a lot more to talk about.
All right, stay tuned. Stay part for Tune 2. Yeah,
Stay
let's do
part
that.
for Dune 2.
Indeed.
In part 2 of Dune 2. Wait,
Electric
Dune 1 and 2?
Boogaloo. Spicy Boogaloo.
The spicy Boogaloo. That's beautiful. I like
All
that
right,
a lot.
like, subscribe. Yeah, we definitely recommend Dune. By
This
the
is
way.
gonna be a watch.
I would recommend probably
Joe.
getting it on Blu-ray or something, so you get that
Yeah.
higher bit rate.
For sure.
I mean, it looks good just on like HBO Max, but yeah.
No, it was
totally.
real good. Totally a watch. Catch us in the next one. I've been Joe.
I've been Ryan.
We're out.